Budget Bayless back at it again. And this time, he won't smoke with the GOAT. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Clarence Rack Hill has finally had enough of Attack on Cowboys, doing exactly what he does to our players and our team. Let's get right into it. Clarence Rack, your time is up. Little ass look like a dried up oil slick. Man, shut your up. Y'all keep this picture in y'all mind the whole time we going through this video, by the way, because this very same man that's in this old crusty white man's face and smiling and looking like he's trying to schmooze up to boss man here, this very same dude that the moment he leaves this guy's presence, he's trying to lead civil rights marches down Cowboys Way in Frisco. Clarence Rack Hill has finally responded to Attack on Cowboys. And dare I say, I think we may have gotten under his skin, ladies and gentlemen, because his exchange with me and the after effects of it essentially occupied the rest of his timeline for the remainder of the night. And get this, he actually tried to go and get one of my old nemesis to try and sun me, man. Clarence Hill, in the middle of that Cowboys beatdown in which all other Cowboys fans were excited and enjoying themselves, and after a very rough half month, including tragedy, emotional losses, all kind of stuff, Clarence Hill tried to find any type of way possible to inject negativity onto the timeline, to inject negativity into people's lives, to inject negativity into the psyche of the fan. And by the way, fans are normal people. They're regular people, by the way. So it is important what we give out to people that we have influence on. It is important the type of energy that we leave an imprint on with this world. It's very important, Clarence Rack. But I just quoted him and said, "You are miserable, bruh." And a lot of people agreed with me, had over 400 likes. A lot of people agree with me. I just said, "You're miserable, bruh." I didn't even do the most like I normally do, but I don't even follow Clarence Hill. I don't block him either because he is still a reporter for the Cowboys. So he may every blue moon have some information that may be privy to my job as well. But I will also say, when is the last time that y'all broke any news that we didn't already know about Clarence Rack? When is the last time y'all actually did that? Never mind. That's besides the point. Let's get back to the topic. I say you're miserable. And Clarence Rack took a little bit of offense to this. Clarence Rack quoted me and said, "Stop being so sensitive and have a sense of humor." I definitely have a sense of humor, Clarence Rack. You need more content or something. I definitely don't, Clarence Rack. My content schedule is actually full, and I'm actually going out of my way to ensure that I roast your old crusty taco meat chest having ass on this fine day. You got me bent, Clarence. You got me bent. Yeah, rude to the cube. We're going to talk about that in a second, too. Oh, yeah, I'm on your ass today, buddy boy. He said, "Dude, you don't know me to be acting like this because your Cowboys' feelings are hurt." Feelings ain't hurt, but I actually do know you, Clarence Rack. I think everyone that follows your Twitter or any of your socials know you. You see, you're not some enigma. You're not some hard to figure out, super complicated, super sophisticated guy. You're simply an overgrown, adolescent-minded, old crusty man who's still stuck 40 years ago in his college days. Rude to the Q's, by the way. And I'm a Sigma, so I have nothing against fraternities or anything like that. But I do understand that, hell, we made fun of dudes that was 30 years old coming back to campus trying to be around the frat. Your ass is almost knocking on 70, and you still out here trying to Q-hop, and your hip about to pop out of place, bruh. It's actually sad. Your entire personality is that. I know exactly what type of guy you are because I've seen too many of you in school. I've seen too many of you in my life. You see, you never really had true value to offer anybody. You didn't have an actual character trait that made you an asset to your community. So what you've done is you always try to connect yourself to things that made you more important than even you actually are. It starts in college usually. Guys join fraternities because they're not getting enough attention from the girls. And I can tell you, Clarence Rack Hill is about 5'2", and look at him. You know he ain't getting no bitches. But you use the Greek letters in order to give yourself some false sense of manhood, to give yourself some false sense of purpose. And guess what? It seems like you've never matured past that stage because you still don't have any other purpose other than being a Q dog, right? That's your whole identity, is being a Q dog and being semi-racist towards white people. That's who you are, Clarence Hill. And also, another part of your personality I can just glean from how you advertise yourself to the world on the internet is you don't have anything actually positive to bring to anyone's life. You don't have anything but negativity and virtue signaling for the sake of trying to maintain a false identity to offer anyone. And that's honestly probably my biggest issue with you. It's not even about the Cowboys necessarily as a brand, bro. It's more about how you interact with the players, the people involved with the Cowboys. Every question that you ask people seems like a setup. Every question that you ask people seems like you're trying to look for an opening to where you can bring some type of strife or negativity into someone's atmosphere. Yet, you're one of the main people that will campaign around talking about how bad the white man is and how bad Jerry is and how unfair he's treating people, when your whole mission, your whole career essentially, especially over the last few years, has been made off of trying to do the exact same thing, trying to put people, players, front office members in unfair situations. Seems a little hypocritical to me. So I think we have a really good idea of who you are, Clarence Hill. He said, stop the drama. You can ignore what you don't like. Well, you know, it ain't about what I like. Unfortunately, your old crusty ass is part of my job now. So I said, everything you just said applies to yourself and your budget Bayless act you got going. You're a reporter, not a personality. No one cares about your opinions, Clarence. What makes this fact so obvious is the fact that the dude has 90,000 followers on X, a news-based platform. Instagram, only 3,000 of those followers actually wanted to see anything you had going on in your real life. So if we're being real, it seems like about 86,000 people have no interest in any of your opinions, who you are, or any of that. They just want the news that you're supposed to report for the Cowboys. So then he responded back, and yet here you are. Clearly you do. Stop acting like a snowflake. You don't like my tweets? Drink some water and move on. A snowflake? You are the only person that consistently complains and cries about race and people fair treatment and creating narratives and scenarios where our people are placed at some type of disadvantage and all this other foolishness, bruh. Snowflake? Brother, you literally have had Micah Parsons' lodged up in your asshole since the trade, honestly, since before then, and we know why, but we're going to look through this, but we know why that's the case. If y'all don't know, this is a picture of Clarence Rack Hill hanging out with Micah's mom right here, so I'm just saying. Probably lets you know why Clarence Rack is so fond of the Parsons family, especially when you also see pictures of him with the dad. So back to what we were talking about. I said, ain't as much fun when the rabbit got the gun, huh? It's funny to me that you're upset that I'm doing the same thing that you do to the Cowboys players and front office folks regularly. The only difference is the points I make about you aren't some forced, contrived narrative. Just doing my job, Clarence Rack. Just doing my job. But you are too sensitive to take the same medicine that you try to give people all the time. It's funny to me, you could do all of these writing articles and starting fires and chaos causing within the Cowboys community and with the Cowboys players and everybody else involved. But you can't handle someone being critical of what you do as a profession, probably because y'all actually haven't had that before in this community. That's why I make so many media members uncomfortable. That's why a lot of them do not like me. Now, that's pretty much where that particular exchange ended, but I had Clarence Rack in a tizzy, man. He was tweeting about that situation all night long to the point to where he tried to reach out to Jay Tuck Yakuchi to try to check somebody. He had to tweet this out after we were done with our exchange. I run my Twitter. You follow me. You get all of me. You only want Cowboys Kool-Aid. There are creators for that. Thanks, management. You know what's funny, Clarence Rack? You only want Cowboys Kool-Aid. How can you talk about Cowboys Kool-Aid when the Cowboys the only reason you even have money to buy Kool-Aid, Clarence Rack? You are literally eating off of the Cowboys, bruh. Except you're doing it in a parasitic way and getting called out for it. And now your feelings is a little hurt And now you got to start tweeting and subtweeting it and reaching out to people that absolutely can't stand in the same ring as me. As he reached out to Jay Tuck Yakuchi. He said, sir. Then he quoted him again on another one. Get your people. And then Jay Tuck Yakuchi asked him who. Then Clarence Hill said, the soft ones. I'm glad you knew that Jay Tuck Yakuchi, his people was the soft ones. Because the only his people that Jay Tuck Yakuchi can go get are men that shop for tampons to use for themselves. We got no respect for Buddy either. He done quit being a Cowboys fan like 3 times this season. And now he's talking about sipping on Cowboy Ritas at the Eagles game. These boys just cannot help themselves. This is what I'm talking about, bro. These guys will cause chaos, cause dissent, inject negativity into your content, which absolutely impacts the way a lot of people just feel in general about their team, about their days, about their weeks. People who are really into this thing, man, Cowboys winning or losing and how people talk about the Cowboys, that impacts how they feel in general. So what we can't do is we can't sit here parading around talking about mental health and you asking the team 8,000 questions about what they doing to help people's mental health, but all you're doing is decaying people's mental health. Clarence Rack? See, that's my problem. Everything that you stand for is hypocritical based off of what you output into the world. This is all that you are, and no wonder you're so damn miserable. I would be miserable too if something I absolutely hated made up 50% of my personality. You hate the Cowboys, yet it defines who you are as a person. That must really, really suck. Now, I say all this to say, Clarence Rack Hill, yeah, I'm going to continue to lay the heat down on your ass. As long as you're doing nothing but injecting negativity into the entire community, I'm absolutely going to stay on your ass, bro. And you can block me. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see your reports of you reporting what other people have already reported because our local media actually haven't broken the actual story in I can't remember how long, which begs the question, are y'all just here to ask bad questions to the players at interviews or are y'all still reporters? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. So Clarence Hill, make sure your lips are all nice and oiled up and buttered up so the next time that you see Micah Parsons and his family, you can adjust your hip replacement, drop to your knees, and get the sucking. Because at this point, you would probably hate yourself less if you actually dedicated more of your time to something that you actually enjoy. We don't need you offloading your misery on us because you can't bring any actual value outside of the value that the Cowboys allow you to have. Oops. How about them Cowboys? Wrong tree, Clarence. Wrong tree.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.